Hello, and thank you for listening to Your Credit Matters. I'm your host, Ronnie Lambeth, certified FICO credit professional, author and speaker, and your local credit expert, bringing to you what I think the banks and the credit bureaus, the scumbag collection companies, are spending hundreds of millions of dollars each and every year confusing you and stealing from you, making your life miserable. And I think they do it on purpose. In fact, I think they do it so much that they get sued a lot, and 12 to 13,000 times a day. I wish it was that many. 13,000 times a year they are sued by state agencies, private citizens like you and me. And with that, it's because of the way they do their business and the way they operate. So in the studio today, I have with me Tom Levine. Thanks, Tom, for coming in.
Sure.
And Tom, you're with, I think everybody listening to the show knows who you are.
Well, I have been here for a long time, so I've had a lot of opportunities to meet many of our listeners at events and be on the radio.
So to recap, we have you on the studio, I keep saying that today. I have you on the show today because of a little letter that you got in the mail. You got a letter in the mail just 2 days ago from a collection goon working for Hollywood Video. And they say you owe them $67.
Right. I would be happy to pay any legitimate thing that may have slipped through the cracks. You know, we are very vigilant about watching our credit score. We just bought a car here a couple of months ago. And so I was interested to see in this major purchase what our credit score would be like according to the dealership. So I know all of this is really important. But I have no way of telling 5 years later if this is a legitimate charge.
And it was from 5 years ago, 2007. And I can tell you most likely it's not a legitimate charge based on the fact that the state of Montana recently sued Hollywood Video and Blockbuster Video for closing their doors and then reporting people late and charge-offs and sending them to collections, even though the consumers did nothing wrong. And even though the consumers were never given the opportunity to pay the late fees. And so they sold it off to these collection agencies that really run under the radar. They pop up and they go away. They get sued. They get shut down.
Wow.
And so they reincorporate somewhere else. And they pretend to be attorneys a lot of times. And they'll go after another group of people, make a bunch of money, and then go away. So, and a lot of them are actually taking their money offshore and hiding it. So that way they can, there was a case just last week that finalized in Las Vegas, and they'd stole close to $13 million from the Nevada consumers. And the people filed bankruptcy and ended up having to pay like $5,000 fine. It was only $5,000 because they had no money to pay, because all the money disappeared. So I don't know how you burn through $13 million in 18 months, but apparently they did. And I think all they did is they moved it offshore. But the question you have is, how do you get rid of this, or how do you address this letter?
Right. I don't know if it will ever appear on our credit. So I called you. I wanted to find out.
Most likely it will. Most likely it will if you ignore the letter. So the worst possible thing you can do is ignore it.
Okay.
So you got to find out as soon as you get home. You got to call on your way home. You're going to call your wife, and hopefully she did not throw it away. Otherwise, you will be digging through the trash to find it. And because you have to have that letter, because under federal law, they have to give you 30 days to respond to the letter. Now, have you received any phone calls from them?
No.
And if you haven't yet, most likely you're not going to. I would recommend that you go to, do you have a credit monitoring service?
Actually, we do not.
Okay. I recommend creditchecktotal.com. Again, that's creditchecktotal.com for monitoring. I hate recommending them, but unfortunately, they are the best service that I've found. Experian owns them. I hate giving money to Experian. But you can get an account with them. It's going to be $30 a month. You're going to call back after you get the account and ask for a discount and tell them that you found it cheaper elsewhere and that you found it on TrueCredit.com and it was only $14 a month. They'll put you on hold. They'll come back and they'll either discount it to $15 a month or less, because they don't want their competition, which True Credit is their competition with TransUnion. So they'll drop it to $15. And then I want you to monitor that and make sure that this collection does not show up in the next 28 days. Because by law, they have to give you 30 days to respond and to dispute the validity and make them verify the information that they're reporting on the letter. So if they don't give you that 30 days, they can't legally put it on your credit report. So if it shows up on your credit report prior to that, then they just violated the Fair Credit Report Act and potentially Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, which then you have a right as a consumer to sue them in federal or state court, which we don't want to go down that road.
Right.
But at least if you had a monitoring service, you would know for sure if that actually happened.
Yes.
Okay. So then you're going to take the letter and you're going to review it. And there's some certain things that have to be on there. One of the things you want to see on that letter is, does it state the California Rosenthal Act?
I noticed that it did.
Okay, so it did.
Yes.
A lot of times they won't put that on there, and it is required by state law that that's on there. The next thing I want you to check is if they're licensed in the state of California.
Okay.
A lot of collection companies are not. And according to the state AG, the California Attorney General, if you do business in California, and I found this out myself with my business, that even though my business is located out of the state of California, because I live here and I talk to people, I have to be registered in the state of California. So find out if they're registered and licensed. If they're not, then this makes this a very simple process.
Registered or licensed?
Licensed in the state of California. So they have to be licensed and they have to be bonded in the state of California as a collection company. And you can Google that. You can Google State Attorney General. You can call the State Attorney General's office and find out if they're licensed and bonded. And if they're not, then that's going to make what we do next very, very simple. Okay. Very straightforward. Either they fix it and let it go away, or we're going to file a complaint with the state AG, and you'll pay them the $67, but they're going to get fined several thousand, if not several $100,000 for operating in the state without being licensed and bonded. So it's a big deal. So up next, we're going to talk about exactly what I want you to write on the letter after you find out if it's licensed and bonded. So you've been listening to Your Credit Matters. I'm your host, Ronnie Lambeth. And in studio today, I have with me Tom from KPRZ. And we've been talking about this collection letter that Tom got in the mail. My direct line, if you have credit issues and credit problems or credit questions, give me a call, 888-900-3678. That's 888-900-3678, or simply go to my website, badcreditisAchoice.com. Again, that's badcreditisAchoice.com. Hi, this is Rondi, host of Your Credit Matters. Did you know that nearly 75 million Americans have mistakes on their credit report? And according to recent studies, these mistakes could be costing you thousands of dollars each and every year. Can you really afford to throw away thousands of dollars each year? If you're sick and tired of having poor credit due to inaccuracies, you owe it to yourself to get your credit fixed today. Now, I've helped thousands of people, many of them just like you, improve their credit by getting thousands of inaccurate, erroneous, obsolete items like a bankruptcy, foreclosure, short sales, judgments, late pays, collections removed permanently and legally from their credit report. Now, I'm hosting a seminar on January 21st at noon at the DoubleTree Hotel. The event is free, but you must RSVP to reserve your space, as space is limited. So to RSVP for the free event, please go to badcreditisAchoice.com and click on the seminar button and put in your information, and I'll send you all of the details that you need to make sure that finally, in 2012, you can finally have the life you've always wanted to live, and you can finally have the credit score that you actually deserve. Again, to RSVP, simply go to my website, badcreditisAchoice.com. Again, that's one more time, badcreditisAchoice.com. Simply click on the button right above the video that says seminar. Fill in your information. I'll email you your ticket, the confirmation, the address, the map, and all of the information you're going to need to attend the seminar. If you don't have access to a computer, that's okay. Give me a call, 888-900-3678. Again, that's 888-900-3678. When you call in, simply tell my receptionist your name and your phone number, and I'll call you back and get you the details of the event. I look forward to meeting you there. In the meantime, have a great day. And oh, by the way, make sure you tune in to listen to my show tonight right here on K-Praise at 6:30.